My topic is African women and the quest for leadership. We keep saying leadership, leadership, leadership. It's as if it is centered around the men, and it's a phenomenon that is common all over the world. It's not just limited to Africa. But looking back into history, we will see that not all the men have the game. It's not really just a male-dominated affair. African women rocked in the past, and we're still rocking till today. Somebody challenged me by saying, "Don't do this to a woman. Don't do that to a woman." Funny enough, it's from my faculty that you should respect women. But honestly, in an African society, respect doesn't come easy for women. We've got to aim it. We've got to go all the way out. We've got to have the strong will to seize power, wrestle it from the men. We can't really blame the men. Why we can't blame them is the fact that the status quo, mostly in African society, makes it difficult for them to just relinquish power to women. African society is essentially a patrilineal society. That means that men have all it takes to dominate women culturally. Then religion doesn't make things easy at all. Religion itself speaks about man being the first creation. And God did not stop at just creating him. He also endowed him with the power to subdue all that he has created. So man came first, woman second. If you now put these two institutions, culture, religion, together, we'll see that it becomes like a shackle that ties women down, that prevents women from becoming the best that they can be. Despite this, that African men don't want to relinquish power easily because it is God-given, it is society-given. We still have women in history, far back as 15th century, that proved men wrong, that stood on the ground that what a man can do, a woman can do better, if given the opportunity. And we have such women as Queen Amina, the Yeni Sheru of Ado-Ekiti. And then this beautiful individual that I want to talk about, Aláàfin Àjímú, ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ tó níhùn. She ruled in the 15th century in the prestigious Oyo Empire. It wasn't an easy task for her to rule. It wasn't as if the Oyomesi sat back and said, have power. She had to wrestle power. I speak to the women seated here, girls that are going to be, ladies that are going to be leaders of tomorrow. You're already leaders in your right. But now I'm talking about those who are going to be political leaders. If that is your aspiration, then you have sterling qualities that you can imbibe from this Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́. And what are those qualities? I'll give you 3 sterling interlocking qualities that you must imbibe. The first one is that you must have a strong will. Don't think there will be cultural revolution that will bring about that men will just step aside and let the women control. It is un-African. That is the truth. No matter how sophisticated an African society may be, an African society or African people will never let go of their customs and their culture because that is what makes them distinct from other societies. So, if you are here as an African woman, you want to acquire power, you must have strong will. The will to break grounds, the will to break the shackles of culture, the will to prove yourself that you are worth being a leader. Second quality that she had was that she mapped out as a strategy, for survival. To stay in leadership is not easy. It is not something that will come to you and you believe that, well, it has come. It is something that is my possession and I should take care of it and use it to benefit myself. No. You must be selfless. You must think about your people. You must be ready to make a change. And assuming the leadership as the Alaafin, she mapped out a survival strategy. Because in those days, in the 15th century, an Oba is judged by the expansion of your territory. How far can you go? What are your work quests? How far have you gone? So that you can dominate others around you. In the case of the big fish, it's the small one. And the first thing she did was to change tactics. What was it on ground that was used? What is the army structure on ground? She changed everything. Went as far as Mali to buy horses. Built her own archers. Went as far as building and fortifying her territory so that others don't come in to take advantage of the fact that it is a woman on the throne. And she was able to forge, Oyo Empire in such a manner that her tactics at war was an invisible one. The final, leadership trait that I want women here to imbibe is bravery. These things are interlocking. Number one, you have to learn to have a strong will. Number two, you've got to map out your strategies. What do I want to do for my people? And then the last one is that you've got to have the guts to establish this first two. And this she had. She was brave. If you look through her history, and that bravery culminated in her personally going to war and eventually died in one of the wars in defending her people. So, what I'm trying to say in essence is this. You want power. African women are shouting now, give us power, recognize us. You men, don't make us second place. We can always be at the top. We have what it takes to be at the top. It is not a case of just announcing what it takes. It is a case of building up these characteristics. It is a case of proving yourself that in a man's world, you can do better if given the opportunity. And like I said, the opportunity will not come easily. You've got to wrestle power from men. How will you wrestle power from men? Intelligently. Intelligently. I always say one thing. The kokoro, which is the key of men, actually resides in the hands of women. Most of the time we feel the men are in control and we allow them to feel that they are in control. But the truth is that they are not really in control. We, the women, are in control. And if we are in the control in the home front, right from the bedroom, I see no reason why we can't control in the front. So controlling from the front takes the guts, the will, the bravery, mapping out strategy to conquer, to remain at the top so that men can respect us. So that Africa, the change that we desire in Africa can be a collective change. Not a case of women sitting at home and making their voice known from the rear. No, we come to the front. If you need to get educated, be educated. Have quality education such that gives you, the respect for men to look for you and say, this position belongs to you. So I inspire us today through the life of Alaafin Ajiu Oronpotoniyi, popularly called Arọ́pò tó ń ṣẹ́gun ọ̀tẹ̀. That means a woman that has vagina that kills every evil plot, no matter who is plotting against her. She may be a woman, but she's as brave as a man. Thank you so much.